On today's episode of How It's Automated. Versatile Framework. Versatile Framework is a component of project assembly. It is used to complete deliveries in the space elevator, which in return unlocks additional tiers in the hub. As with all project parts, it cannot be crafted in a craft bench and has to be automated with a machine. So, let's see how it's automated. To start off on these oh-so-versatile frames, pioneers have to find a water source. In the desert, this can be quite a task without trying to pipe it long distances. The water is pumped to a series of refinery buildings, along with iron ore, and is used to wash all the impurities from the iron. See, here is the iron ore miner in which you should avoid to keep all your fingers. The refineries then stack the ingots into neat little bundles to be shipped off anywhere iron is needed. In this factory, it will be used in 3 places. The iron ingot belts are built high above the sands to ensure they don't get covered. The wavy layout also keeps the sand from building up over long stretches. Notice the lack of sand on these belts. That's the result of efficient pioneers. The pillars are reinforced with metal beams to stand up to the constant winds experienced in this region. The first stage presses the iron ingots out into perfectly square iron plates, also known as 2D, FE. Given the heat coming off the sand, the constructor buildings won't have much trouble since the metal is quite malleable. The iron plates leave the constructors and are fed underground to a storage buffer. Because in the event the lines back up, the machines can keep producing. Next door, more iron ingots are used to create the next item needed. Everyone's favorite, screws. Inside the constructor, the iron ingots are melted down and cast into a rivet screw thing. No need for iron rods here. The screws are bundled into little blue cases that hold about 69 screws. The screws are then sent to another storage container in the event of a backup. Wait, last time, did I say storage container?
You said storage buffer last time, but it's okay. We're gonna roll with it. Nobody will even know.
Perfect. The screws are then wave belted along with the iron plates for the next stage. Here, assembler buildings use the screws to permanently adhere multiple layers of iron plates together to create reinforced iron plates. These are some chunky plates. The reinforced iron plates actually undergo an endothermic reaction during the process, so they are quite cool when exiting the machines. They are then routed to the next processing area through a tunnel as the sand has covered this portion of the belts. Another item is needed for the next step and is the last to use the iron ingots. In this step, the iron ingots are elongated to a particular diameter until they become iron rods. The constructors are great at elongating things. As the rods leave the constructors, they are stacked in neat bundles that won't fall apart no matter how rough the belt journey is. The rods are then routed to the next station, which also uses the reinforced iron plates. Next, the iron rods are wave belted along with the reinforced iron plates to yet another series of assembler buildings. Here, the assemblers assemble the 2 items to create yet another one of everyone's favorite items, modular frames. At least they aren't heavy. The modular frames leave the assemblers piping hot due to the exertion on the metals. Here they are belted long distance to the next processing area. These belts weren't built tall enough to avoid the sands, so they have had to cover them as the sand builds up. One could say it's sort of a segue through the deep sands. Very similar to this segue from today's sponsor, Fixit Packaged Water.
Staying hydrated is crucial, especially when you're active or spending time in the hub. And that's where Fixit Packaged Water comes in. Our water is not just any ordinary water. It's purified through a rigorous process, making it one of the cleanest and most refreshing waters out there. Whether you're hitting the northern forest, checking out the grassy plains, or spending time building a factory on the Golden Coast, Fixit Water is the perfect choice to keep you hydrated and refreshed. It's an ideal companion for pioneers who wants to stay on top of their game and push their limits. And the best part? Our water tastes amazing. It's pure and refreshing, with a crisp taste that will keep you coming back for more. But Fixit Packaged Water is not just for lizard doggos or beans. It's also perfect for pioneers who want a healthier alternative to maple syrup hydration. Our water is a great way to stay hydrated and refreshed throughout the day, without compromising on taste. Now back to the factory.
For the next stage, steel is needed. The pioneers tap 2 coal nodes and 2 iron nodes. These ores are quite fragile, so the Fixit standard wave belts would cause them to fall off. Then sand would get on it, and that's gross. The iron and coal are injected into a series of foundries to be smelted together. This is a one-for-one mixture. The steel ingots come out of the foundries ready to begin their journey to assist the pioneers in creating a better factory. Extra ingots are stored in the event more demand is required because pioneers are required to stay efficient. The steel ingots are then wave-belted to the next stage. After the long wave journey, the steel ingots arrive at a medium-sized constructor factory. Here, the ingots are stamped out individually into steel beams. Despite the ingots being solid, this is a 4-to-1 ratio to create the steel beams. After being stamped out, the steel beams leave the constructors ready to be wave-belted underground to yet another storage container. From there, the steel beams are belted on and through the sand to meet up with the modular frames. Together, both items are transported to the final stage of production. The two items are belted on, through, and over much of the eastern desert. Pause here to show more belts. And these belts. And don't forget to show these ones too. For the final stage, the steel beams and modular frames enter underneath the platform. From there, they enter at least 2 assembler buildings. Inside the assemblers, the beams and frames are merged together at the subatomic level. The metals are molded and twisted together with great force. Finally, the versatile framework is complete and exits the assembler buildings to a merging system under the platform. After they are merged onto one belt, they are wave-routed to a flyboy for further transportation. Finally, the drone drops the versatile framework at the receiving station. Once the drone decides to let go of the package, the versatile framework are belted to the very last set of wave belts and into the space elevator. From there, they are shot to space and begin their journey to assist Fixit in profits and to build various other space stations. And that is how versatile framework is automated. The versatile framework are quite the undertaking for any new pioneers, but they certainly leave them a little more versatile. Thanks for watching and I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more, be sure to check out the entire playlist of episodes. If you found it the least bit satisfactory, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And remember, pioneers must stay efficient.